G'day everybody, welcome back to the channel, and we are back here for part number 2 of the three-way competition rebuild between the three Athenian clubs, or the three major Athenian clubs should I say, because there's actually a few more. AEK Athens, Olympiacos and Panathinaikos. Let's go straight into it. So we are here with AEK again. We're starting off with these because these are pretty much the poor boys of the city when it comes to the other two clubs, and it's not getting any better. Financially, we are still in the red. Our wage budget is over. Our transfer budget was utterly trash for last season. Club vision, board wise as well, I'm not getting anything coming through. There's no news of any interest, like from any takeovers, any consortiums or anything like that. So there's nothing like that on the horizon. So it is going to be a little bit of a struggle. That being said, we still have had to, well, we've had to make some transfers. We don't have that much of a choice, to be fair, and a lot of it is just free transfers. I barely made any money from player sales. I got rid of a couple of players which amounted to about $1 million there. If I go back, I sold Anthony Martial before the save point of the game for 1.3 million. So I managed to raise about 2 million in total, which basically all got ploughed into the wage budget, and I went for a load of free transfers, as you can see on the list here. So going through it, and it is quite a sizable list. But Yunus Akgun is a mid-20s Turkish attacking midfielder. I'm hoping he's going to follow in the footsteps of some of the other great Turkish players in this league, but you never know. We'll see what happens. He's got really good flair and good agility, so he looks like he's a bit of a tricky customer, and is also injured at the moment. Not for long though, only 3 weeks. Then I brought in an experienced left-back in Jamal Lewis, 27-year-old Northern Irish international. Great consistency and all that sort of stuff. He pops up on the game usually after a year because his contract runs out and Newcastle let him go. And you know what? For this league, he's excellent. He's excellent for this league. I also wanted somebody along the lines of a pacey striker, which would be Myron Boado. Look at his acceleration. Look at his pace. Again, pace and acceleration on this game, absolutely kill it. More players that are coming. Tomar Basic, Croatian international from Lazio. Eddie Salcedo, who actually was, if I remember rightly, on loan in the Greek league at OFI last season, got 19 goals. So him and Boado fighting it out for the front line, I think is a really, really good addition for us. Elias Kobout, however you pronounce it, Belgium, international with 1 cap. Can you call him an international with 1 cap? I suppose you can. Left-footed centre-back or left-back, great defensive cover option again. Peter Atibo is a Nigerian defensive midfielder. Again, another ball winner, something to add a little bit steel into the centre of midfield, along with Sotirios Alexandropoulos, who again is another really good, strong ball winning midfielder. So it's going to be between those two, as well as the other squad members as well. And then also a backup goalkeeper, can't get my words out, Vutsov, a player who I've signed previously on a previous save that I did for my Build a Nation with High Duke Split, and he was an absolute stalwart for me for that game, and he's still pretty good. He's not had a debuff or anything like that, or attributes being dropped over the time, and yeah, he looks pretty decent as a backup. So squad wise for AEK, we are looking very, very strong. We also have obviously Strakosha still in goal. Some of the stalwarts from last season are still here. So we do still have Mantelos, who is 34 now. I don't think I'm going to keep him that much longer, to be fair. Boado, Levi Garcia is fully fit and he's off to an absolute flyer. 4 goals, 2 assists in 6 games. Really, really good start to the season. As you can see, lots of green in there. Only 1 loss in a friendly, and a draw with Olympiacos, which isn't too bad considering it was away by the looks of it, I think. Yes, it was away at their stadium. But we have qualified for the Conference League proper this time, and we are into the proper league stages. So maybe we can progress into Europe and actually get into the knockout rounds of this, which I think would do our reputation and money situation good. That's what I'm hoping for. But let's go and zip on over to... who are we going to go to next? We're going to go to Panathinaikos next. So we're going to go zip on over there. I'll see you guys in a second. Well, after the success of last season, actually doing a domestic double, but not really showing ourselves in the best light when it came to European football, I thought, okay, let's go and build on this for a little bit more. But I do have a little bit of news for the Panathinaikos brethren out there, and that is, if we have a look at the club vision and have a look at the club board, ka-chow, we've had a takeover. We have a new chairperson who has come in at the 2024, so yeah, literally only a couple of months ago. They've already started progressing with a load of coaching courses and improving the training facilities, but financially, oh, look at that. We've had a nice little cash injection. We actually got more money put into the transfer budget, which, speaking of which, I'll show you in a second. But debts and loans, absolutely zero. Things are definitely on the up for Panathinaikos. So domestic double last season, and now we got money in the bank that we have. We've spent all right. We have spent all right. So nothing in the ins or outs there. Transfers out, only 1 million plus in player sales. Spora has gone. Seren has gone. Dabizas has gone. A couple of other youngsters as well. But realistically, I didn't actually spend any money on actual player transfers. It all went into the wage budget. Because one thing I am facing with this challenge is that the reputation of the Greek League isn't the best. So you get real sort of parity, like sort of between the valuations of the players. Either you get one that's transfer listed that's really, really famous, like Arda Güler. Take that for instance. He's valued at like 45 million, but I can't afford that. The next one down is only valued at like 5 million, but he's not going to improve my squad. So we went onto the free transfer market again and brought in some players who I think will improve the squad, or at least level it out a little bit. So Robert Wagner, attacking or ball-winning midfielder, great German player, 22 years old, came in as a squad player, good consistency and all that jazz. Very, very good player. And then the next one, Jacopo Petrosioni, 30-year-old Italian deep line playmaker. Again, just a squad player. He's only a 2-star, but I wanted to bulk the squad out a little bit, considering we've got Champions League football. Alexandra Poulis is going to be a regular name all the way through this. He's another one who signed. Carl Jakob Hein is another backup goalkeeper from Estonia. Yeah, he's not going to be a starter. He's good enough for a backup. That'll do for me. Charalampos Lykogiannis. Nailed it. Fullback, left-footed, left-sided fullback, 31 years old. Again, Greek, so helps with the homegrown quota when registering the squad. Good mentality, good consistency. Very, very happy with that. And then I picked up an absolute Italian staple in Kevin Lasagna. Real player. I did not know this was a real player. He's 33 years old, an experienced striker. He's been around a bit. He's Udinese, Verona, Bari, and he's come across as a backup striker. Never heard of him before, but Kevin Lasagna. You couldn't get a more English Italian name. Is he? No, he's purely Italian. Okay. I didn't realise Kevin was a popular name in Italy, but hey ho, there we go. And then finally, Andreas Buchalskis. I think I nailed that one as well. Another one, 32. I'm not being age discriminate on this at the moment because beggars can't be choosers. Another Greek player just to help out with the registration. Again, only a 2.5-star ability, but it is what it is. Tactically wise, again, I forgot to show it on the AEK, but I haven't changed anything. I'm not allowed to. That is just the way it is. If we have a look at the schedule, we have started off reasonably well. We had a little bit of a twitchy moment in Prague, but then we got our own back by beating them 5-0, which is pretty decent. A couple of league games, which we started off very well. We're second in the league. We are progressing very, very nicely. The squad is well balanced now, in my mind. I've got a good cover in the winger positions, attacking midfielders and strikers. Good cover in the defensive midfield and good cover in defence and goalkeeper. So I'm very, very happy with the squad at the moment. And looks like Mancini's got off to a flyer, as well as Ioannidis, who's got 9 goals in 8 games with 3 assists. How is he still only valued at 15 million? I do not know, but what a player he is. And that only leaves one thing for it. Let's go over to Olympiacos to see how the red third of Athens is getting on for season number 2. And here we are over in the red third of Athens, as I like to call it, the Olympiacos area. And again, Olympiacos is by far the most financially stable club out of all 3 clubs. Taking out of consideration the fact that Panathinaikos have just had a takeover, but balance-wise, almost 40 million. I've got about 5 million left in the transfer budget, which is fine. The squad was still pretty decent. I just wanted to bulk it up and strengthen it, obviously for European football more than anything else, and I've done that again mainly through the free transfer market. There was a lot of players that were free transfers, and helped us out a lot. I did have some player sales, a free transfer before the takeover, and then 3.5 million on the sales out. Vezo, Gelson Martins, Ayub El Kabi have all gone. Small nominal fees off to Girona, Bromby and Norwich. But obviously there was one player that came in that was already pre-arranged, as I alluded to in the previous episode, Andre Horta, 2.1 million. He has come in. He actually had a really decent season for us last season. 25 games, 27 in all, 7 goals, 2 assists, with a 7 average rating almost. Not too bad at all. But then, as I say, I wanted to strengthen out the squad, bulk it out a little bit, and I've done that with quite a few of the players. So, starting from the top, Lukas Vorlici is a Czech winger who's just going to provide a little bit of squad depth. I think he's fairly decent for the league, so it'll help. Christian Kwame is a free transfer. This guy, I think, will absolutely smash it, and he already is, to be fair. 9 games, 7 goals, 4 assists, nearly an 8 average rating. 27 years old. This is a player that's coming into his prime, and he's incredibly good. Very happy with that. Elia Capriel is a staple of Football Manager 2024 when it comes to goalkeepers. Very, very good goalkeeper. I wanted a better goalkeeper because that was one of our weak points, and this guy does it. He really does do it. Andre Anderson is a Brazilian midfielder who his contract ran out at Lazio. Came in for a free transfer. Really good flair. Gives us a good attacking option more than anything else. Good backup for Yazici, I'd say. Another one coming in is Marcus Antonio, who plays at the other end of the midfield, in defensive midfield, but he's come over. He was at Shakhtar and Lazio, then he was in Brazil, and then his contract ran out, and I've signed him. Again, good all-round, 25 years old, so good in that area where he can still progress a little bit, but also has enough to offer right now. Jonathan Panzo is just another centre-back / left-back backup option. God, trying to get those words out. Again, consistent, likes the big games. Didn't really work out at Nottingham Forest. He had a decent time at Rio Ave, and I signed him on a free transfer just as a backup option more than anything else. Leander Dendoncker is another name that should be quite familiar. 30-year-old defensive midfielder. Again, really good all-round. Nothing amazing standing out, but very, very good experience, and that's what I wanted. Again, Jamal Lewis is another one I brought in, and David Brooks. 28-year-old Welsh winger, attacking midfielder from Bournemouth. His contract ran out, and you know what? I thought I'd take a shot at it. And again, he started off very well. 3 assists in 6 starts with over a 7 average rating. Can't really complain at that. Because when we have a look at the schedule, definitely not complaining at this. We had to go through the qualifying stages for the Champions League, which we did very, very comfortably indeed, along with a couple of the league games, beating PAOK, Panathinaikos, and Volos as well. That's a really, really good start. I'm very, very happy with that. And then say we have a look at the squad. The squad is very, very well balanced. Lorenzo Pirola is still one of my favourite centre-backs on the game. He's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, Yazici off to a flyer. 5-5 from 9 starts. Really, really cannot fault that at all. Well, there we go, folks. That is the coverage for the 3 teams. I'm going to run the highlights for season number 2. Fingers crossed that all 3 clubs can be successful in their respective leagues and get some more trophies on the board for this competition to find out who has been the better side over the 5 seasons. Let's go and roll the highlights and see how they get on. AEK had to bounce back this season, and we did just that. Well, domestically anyway. In the Conference League, we just about scraped through in the league phase in 23rd, only to get pumped by Nice 5-3 on aggregate in the knockouts. In the Greek Cup, it was a 4-3 second leg knockout by our city rivals Olympiacos that ended our journey, but it seemed to be a blessing in disguise, because in the league, we were immense. We only lost 4 games all season, whilst battering Tripolis 5-1, Volos 4-0, Panathinaikos 4-1, as we marched on to our first league title of the challenge and our 14th in the club's history. For the red third of Athens, it was a return to Champions League football, and despite a tough fixture list, with wins like a 2-0 over Bruges, we had losses like a 4-2 and a 5-2 versus Leipzig and Bayern Munich. We scraped into the knockouts. Sadly, it was another German team, Eintracht Frankfurt, that caused us more pain as we got knocked out on penalties. In the Greek Cup, it was the black and yellow of Athens that knocked us out in the quarterfinals 2-1, but the league, yet again, was our salvation. A 7-0 win versus Lamia, a 4-0 win versus Hania, and a 5-2 versus AEK all contributed to another league title win, and that's 2 seasons in a row. At Panathinaikos, after the success of last season, we wanted to show our mettle in the Champions League. And sadly, that really didn't go to plan, thanks to the likes of Arsenal, PSG and co, as we didn't even make it out at the league stage. In the Greek Cup, we went all the way, beating Artas, then Atromitos 2-1. It was Olympiacos in the semi-finals, where we won 3-1 on aggregate to face our other rivals, AEK, in the final. But in an even game, we sadly lost the game 2-0. That didn't spoil our league form though. A 4-0 versus PAOK, a 3-0 versus Aris, and a 1-0 versus AEK all helped secure our second league title of the challenge and our 22nd league title in the club's history. Well, all in all, I'm actually really happy with that. We are back on top. We have our first league title of the challenge for AEK. Come on. That's really, really good. If we have a look at the league table, it was actually pretty close, to be fair. Only 3 points in it. Literally, almost threw it away at the end of the season. But we are champions. That does mean that we get Champions League qualification. We'll have to go through the qualification period for next season. But all in all, that is still very, very good. And could hopefully sort out our financial worries at the club. That is what I'm hoping for. I mean, this season, we only lost 4 games. And this is in the championship group. If we have a look at the league table first. Yeah, we only lost 2. One to Olympiacos and Panseriaikos. And then onto the championship group where we only lost another 2. Again, PAOK and Olympiacos seem to be, but Panathinaikos, we had their number all season. Only 28 conceded, 83 scored is even better. Good performances in the cups, actually. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, the Conference League wasn't as good as I expected it to be. I wanted a little bit more, but we just about scraped through. And then obviously getting knocked out in the knockout round by Nice. I feel a little bit hard done by there, to be fair, but I feel even more hard done by in the Greek Cup, getting done by Olympiacos. It seems that Olympiacos, even though they finished 4th on 20 points off the top, they had our number all season, and they were a thorn in our side, unfortunately. Quick look at the squad, see how everybody's doing. 30 goals on his debut season from Boado. Really good, and 8 assists. 15 and 10 from Pineda. Salcedo got 13 and 4. 12 and 13 from Garcia, 12 and 9 from Basic on his debut season, Akgun on his debut season as well, 7 and 14, 6 and 15 from Mantalos, so the players are performing immensely. Lamela only played 11 games this season. Did he get an injury? Damaged spine in January and also a hip injury in the August, so that's why he's missed most of the season. He's missed 7 months of the season, unfortunately. I think that could be Lamela's time up more than anything. Financially, though, has it helped at all? No, not really. 1.2 million in the transfer budget, and we are in a deficit still. God, this is poor, and this is tough. This is going to be very tough. But the problems for that to sort out are for next season. So let's go and have a look at Panathinaikos next. I'll see you guys in a second. Well, to say I'm a little bit disappointed in this season, more so in the European side of things with Panathinaikos. That was poor. But we did win the league title again. And unfortunately, we were the runners-up in the Greek Cup. But let's have a quick look at the league table and go over that. So, yeah, absolutely smashed it. We only conceded 19 goals all season. We deserved this. A goal difference of 61, 86 points, 15 ahead of PAOK. AEK and Olympiacos were absolutely nowhere near us this season. Absolutely nowhere near. Let's say competitions-wise, we were the runners-up in the Greek Cup. Unfortunately, getting beaten in the final by our city rivals. That irks me a little bit, to say the least. But the Champions League, that was the most disappointing aspect of this season, unfortunately. Only winning 2 games, beating Celtic and Bilbao, but losing 6, and a couple of them at home, especially one to Copenhagen. That's disappointing. Even a draw against Porto, I would have been happy with, and losing to Young Boys away. I've got a better squad than that. We should be doing better than that. And we finished out of it, and just that was it, done and dusted. So, financially wise, we're about level with what Olympiacos are actually. 45 million in the transfer budget though for next season. Again, the problem is though, I can't spend it because most of the players I want don't want to come, unfortunately, and a couple of the players do need replacing. But for this season, Ioannidis, 28 goals, 5 assists, 20 and 8 for Bakasetas, 16 and 20 for Palestri, 10 goals for Kevin Lasagna, my favourite English Italian, with 3 assists, 10 and 10 from Tete, 7 and 6 from Maximovic, 13 assists from Mancini, 10 assists from Philip Max. Really, really good performances all around. I mean, Palestri's had an absolutely blinding season. Let's have a quick look at him. He's not really developed that much. I think he's hit his ceiling, but he's just really good for this league. He's got the pace, he's got a decent dribbling and crossing. So yeah, I think that's probably where he's getting the best of himself. He's probably hitting his level, to say the least. So, only one thing left to do. Let's go and zip on over to Olympiacos to see how their season got on, and then we'll tot everything up and see where we're at the moment. Well, I think it's fair to say that the Greek clubs have all had really good domestic seasons. They've all won league titles, as have Olympiacos yet again. Boom. And in domestic cups, we're doing okay. Olympiacos definitely did play a little bit better in the Champions League. I had to remember what it was for a second there. But we'll have a look at the league. Again, absolutely trounced it. 24 goals conceded, 89 scored, goal difference is 65. Panathinaikos did give us a run for our money, and we almost did cock it up with a couple of rough results towards the end of the season, but thankfully we managed to hold on and claim the title again. If we have a look at past winners, Olympiacos is ridiculous. This is number 49 for them, which is mental when you think about it. Greek Super League title, number 49. That's incredible. This league has just been dominated by Olympiacos for, how long? At least 2 decades, if not more. It's incredible how well they do at the moment. So we could be going on to season number 3 and targeting title number 50. That'd be great. But obviously in the other competitions, we did get knocked out by our city rivals, AEK, in the Greek Cup. In the Champions League was a little bit better than Panathinaikos did. We managed to finish 16th, qualify with 3 wins. Bruges, Red Star and Ludogorets, the teams that I expect us to be beaten. Drawing against Bilbao and Ajax, which is pretty decent, and then losing to the big boys. I kind of expect that. That is alright. But then going into the knockout playoff round, losing on penalties. Oh, that hurts. Another round in, a little bit more prize money would have been nice. That's disappointing. Speaking of prize money, financially wise, yeah, again, pretty level. Not as much as Panathinaikos have got for this season for the transfer budget, but still a good amount. Nearly 27 million. There's probably a few players that are going to be on their way out as well, so I can probably raise that a little bit. And speaking of squad wise, Yusuf Yazici, 28 and 29 in 55 games. Wow. What a season he has had. Christian Kwame, I said he was going to be good. 26 goals and 9 assists. Andre Horta, a better season, a more influential season, that's for certain. 14 and 15, 11 and 10 from David Brooks, great first season. Leander Dendonka, even from defensive midfield, 11 goals and 3 assists. Some really, really good performances again. I cannot fault it in the slightest at all. I'm really, really happy with that. If we have a look at the club info as well, not the club info, the club vision at the board, nothing going on here, no takeovers or anything like that. Marinakis, I don't think will ever sell this club, to be fair. I just think that's the way it is. So there we go, folks. That is the end of episode 2. Let's do a quick tot up on who has won what. So, as has been shown, all 3 teams have won a league title this season, but also it is disappointment on the domestic cup front, as all 3 of the teams got knocked out by their respective rivals for the Greek Cup, which is unfortunate. And obviously no European titles this season either. There we have it, folks. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Also keep an eye out for the social posts, because by the time this one is out, I will actually be in Athens myself, and I may be sticking up a couple of photos of going to the various different stadiums that these guys play at. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Ta-ra.